This is the Whole Care Network. Helping you tell your story one podcast at a time. Content presented in the following podcast is for information purposes only. Views and opinions expressed in this podcast are solely those of the host and guest and may not represent the views and opinions of the Whole Care Network. Always consult with your physician for any medical advice, and always consult with your attorney for any legal advice. And thank you for listening to the Whole Care Network.
Welcome to the I Saved You, Now Do the Dishes podcast. I'm author and speaker Carrie Severson. In each episode, I'll share stories and tips from my experience with caregiving and advocacy through my husband's cancer journey.
You're sitting funny.
Oh my God.
Well, maybe we should sit where they...
Hello.
Maybe not. I was thinking because we're sitting on the corner here, it's hard for us to sit like square. There's a freaking corner right here.
Welcome back to episode 2 of I Saved You, Now Do the Dishes. And you're in our kitchen. We are literally in a little corner here because I like the backdrop. That's why we're here.
You know what? Yeah. She's right. I'm wrong. In this particular case, it's the first time.
So we're still trying to get used to the microphone stuff. So hopefully you can hear both of us okay. And this is Gavin again.
Hello.
So the last time we were on, we were talking about the difference between caregiver and patient and how after his treatment ended, he wanted to run, he needed freedom, and I needed to be still. I wanted to just have somebody else take care of me. But in the week that we have been sort of thinking about what we should come back with, we wanted to talk about one of the very first experiences we had to go back to the hospital was with a speech and swallow therapist. Mm-hmm. And Gavin had to first swallow water and then try eating applesauce.
I think we have that on video too.
Hopefully I didn't delete it.
Okay. Yeah, because that would be cool if we could. Hopefully we can. But yeah, I remember that. I think I had my head on your lap still, so I was still. I think that was.
No, that was a different one. But
that was different. Okay.
This was the speech and swallow therapist talked to Gavin like he was an athlete, and he's like, your throat muscle needs to be reworked, and he was so scared to eat at that point. Even applesauce, swallowing applesauce. So I remember walking, first of all, I was upset that I had to go back to the hospital. I had to drive you back to the hospital because you were still on.
I'm going to take you off topic here and do the total Terminator thing. Do you remember the Terminator thing?
No.
No, it was Total Recall, where they shoved the thing up my nose and you could see the light.
Okay, you want to tell that story?
Totally off topic.
Okay.
But this particular hospital does a lot of training, and sometimes there's a cost to that, and they scope your throat when you have throat cancer, and so they put this little thing. It's thinner than a cord, and usually they lube it up. They give you some like nasal spray in your nose, and then they shove this thing up your nose. Remember the COVID tests and how that felt weird? So this new guy, he's in a suit. Was it the guy that doesn't have a big personality?
Yes.
Okay. So, he looks like he's wearing a suit and everything, but he kind of reminded me of like the Mormon guys that come door to door, knock on your door, and, or LDS if you prefer that. So he's shoving it up my nose, and I'm like, and then Carrie could see a light
next to his eyeball.
In Total Recall, and she's like, when you hear the crunch, you're halfway there.
Gross.
And I was like, I can't take this anymore.
He's like,
and then Dr. SAP, who had a lot of experience, is like, no, you twist it. And it's like, and it went down and they could see it, and it was a lot less uncomfortable. But she usually laughs hysterically about it and almost
He didn't realize what was
teeth
happening.
against.
Anyway, so that was before treatment. This was him like probably I don't know, December 8th or something. It was a weird day. Way before treatment, it was like the very first thing. They basically wanted to get the look inside his throat. He had already had a scan. I don't think he had a PET scan yet, but he had a CT scan. So yeah, they shoved it up. I'm standing in the very back, and suddenly Gavin like has this red mark right next to his nose, and he pushes himself away from the doctor, and he's like, "I'm sorry, man, I can't do it. I can't do it." And I'm laughing because I'm like, that doesn't look right. Like he's going up towards his
You got a really good view of my tear duct, apparently, which wasn't what they were going for, but at least we know my tear ducts were cancer free.
Anyway, so Gavin had like PTSD from that experience. Whenever he had to go back in to get scoped, it was a regular argument between us.
Kind of fought it
for like a year. Every time a radiologist or a radiologist assistant would be like, "I want to scope you to look," they would have to leave the room. Gavin and I would have like a 15-minute argument about like, we have, this is something you have to do. You have to do it. And he's like, you sit here and do it. You do it. I don't want to.
You first. Maybe if you give me like a gallon of Quaaludes.
But yeah, so no, that happened before. I appreciate that you need to talk about that.
I just think that was an important moment in medical history. Well, it's something to warn people out there. You can get head and cancer, that they're going to do that.
It's very uncomfortable.
Try not to let the intern do it, because that sucks.
Anyway.
Yeah.
But afterwards, the fact that he couldn't eat, and this was the thing, is that in order to get the feeding tube out, he had to have a solid month of no use. He had to swallow everything. But before he could even get to that point, he first had to get cleared that he could actually use his throat. And that was first water and then applesauce. Mm. So I'm sitting he's in the chair. It looks like a dentist chair. You're upright. She's in front of you. And she's like, "Okay, take a sip of water. And then after you take a sip of water, you have to swallow really hard afterwards." And that was scary for you.
Yeah. So I guess they thought I had throat muscle atrophy.
Yeah, and they were concerned about pneumonia because you had so much mucus.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You were constantly being looked at for pneumonia.
I don't know how to describe the drooling, but
I say
it was like a medium, like not like a leak of a faucet, but like not like a drip. It was more like a steady gelatinous flow of stuff. Like our bloodhound, he drools a lot, and it was more like a steady bloodhound drool if you have a bloodhound. And if you ever seen one that like Turner and Hooch, where the dog like is down to here, it was like that. And I was constantly just like because I couldn't speak almost.
I said this last year,
saliva and slobber,
or last season, that we had paper towels in the car, we had it in the kitchen, we had it in the bathroom, we had it on the couch, we had it everywhere. They were everywhere. We had them in the corner here behind where Gavin's sitting, and people bought it for us in bulk.
What, your parents did or something?
Lynn and Tim bought it in bulk,
okay.
And we would just take one and walk around with it. But the very first thing that we had to do was get you cleared to use your throat, and you were so scared. So she's standing in front of him, and she's like, "Okay, now swallow a second time, and now let's try applesauce." And it's this little tiny cup of applesauce, and I'm in the back of the room,
like,
and I'm
one of
recording.
those sample ice cream spoons.
Yeah,
I remember that. And I was like,
you were so
just,
scared.
like, swallow hard, and like not just swallow regular. Like I said, I was thinking, you want to make it as painful as possible, lady? Like I didn't say that out loud, but I was kind of like, okay, like,
Yeah.
why don't we start with baby steps? Anyway, I remember that, and yeah, I was afraid because I remembered how painful just water was, and it was so weird how it was like on Friday I could do it, and then the next day I couldn't at all, and it just like completely shut down after that, with the being able to swallow, and even like something like that would hurt. I remember, I think I'd used Chloraseptic. I can't remember. Yeah. The only thing that kind of worked for me, and I didn't swallow it, but it made my mouth moist. And the only thing I could stand like it better than water was, and that helped me saliva when it weird like the saliva patterns would, was fruit punch Gatorade, and I would literally go and spit it in the sink because it just made my mouth feel better.
Until it didn't, and then it went everywhere. You couldn't get it down, and then it went everywhere.
Oh yeah.
That's a different story. The one I'm trying to tell, though.
Thank you for. I'm sorry, everybody off topic. I'm just a little ADD.
Anyway, the applesauce thing. So I'm in the back of the room. She hands him the applesauce and the spoon. And she's standing in front of him. And she's like moving her arms, like trying to get him to like get excited or something. And he's like a little kid peeking around her, trying to find,
Something like that.
trying to look at me. And there's video of him looking through her arm. You know, she's like, arms are on her hip at this point. And he's looking at me through her little arm peephole here. And yeah, if we have it on, if I still have the video, I'll show it to you. But just the tiniest little swallow. And that was like exciting, little tiny baby applesauce. I remember I was holding a cup of coffee and I felt so guilty for being able to drink coffee. But that's a common thing for caregivers. Like we feel like we have this incredible responsibility and we go through all these emotions.
I remember that you felt guilty about a lot of things, but I didn't think there was any reason to feel guilty. You could just do it, and I couldn't. It was,
it was weird. I felt guilty about making food for myself.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
So I would eat when he was sleeping, or I would eat cold sandwiches. I ate a lot at the hospital. So I put on a ton of weight because I was eating like cheeseburgers essentially every day. And then when he got done with treatment, what we ate essentially had to follow his pattern because like we couldn't even have pepper. Do you remember that?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, barbecue sauce tasted like hot sauce. It's still a little pretty spicy today, but not as bad as it was.
Yeah.
And ketchup too. Ketchup was like I think it was the vinegar in there, or that the tomatoes. Were tomatoes spicy?
Yes, tomatoes were awful.
It was maybe no tomato is what they call nightshade.
And then you said salt tasted or chocolate tasted like salt.
Oh yeah, chocolate. I completely ruined chocolate for a good year.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know. It didn't taste good. So I was like, well, maybe that'll be good for like keeping weight off.
But food was it was obviously a sensitive topic before he went to the long-term cancer wing. We'd had long conversations about his food intake. And in order for him to eat, even like get a protein shakedown or a really soggy sandwich, we had to watch Food Network cooking competitions.
I was going to say that about 5 minutes ago, but I didn't want to take you off topic. So I'm improving. Yes, I remember that. Like, and that would work. I'd watch Guy Fieri. What was that? The shopping one, Supermarket Sweep. But I think he rebranded. Oh, Guy's Grocery Games.
Yeah.
It's nothing like Super. Okay, it is like Super.
And then we did Tournament of Champions.
Okay. Yeah, you like that one better.
Yeah, he likes the Guy's Grocery Games, and so we did that until like midnight, and I'd be in a little tiny corner of the couch, he'd be at the kitchen table, and then it would take him like hours to get. So food equaled pain, and then starting to introduce food again was scary, and we started with applesauce.
Yeah, that's right.
And then in that meeting, he's barely able to get applesauce down. And she's like, okay, in 2 weeks, I want you to eat a hamburger. And
oh, yeah. I was like, what? Fiber. I'll say fiber. Like, I was like, that's not happening. I really wish I could use my Navy sailor language. But like I was like, there's no way that's happening, lady. And lo and behold, I think I took a bite of one at cafeteria. I don't know, a week or two later.
So as soon as he got cleared, like his white blood cell count started, increasing, and his immune system slowly started coming back. We were given like the green light for him to go out into like public and be around strangers again. So we started picking up his kids and taking them to Sunday church. And our church has a grill and a coffee bar, very centered on community.
It's fancy.
It's not fancy.
Well, I mean, compared to think of a Catholic church or like what people think a church is, but
it's focused on community, and they want you to come. They want you to stay.
I like that, actually.
Yeah, I know.
I ran into some buddy that I used to sell cars with and had a conversation with him. And
That's cool.
It was cool. So you do get those opportunities.
Yeah.
If you're into the faith, to kind of strengthen your faith or maybe build it in people that are, questioning it.
So one of the very first weeks, we're back. We have the kids. And previously, when we had the kids...
Oh, that's way better. Now you don't...
So I'll pause here and I'll have a side note for my producer who told me to actually have the camera tilted that way. This is what I deal with on a regular basis.
I thought this is what you...
I mean, I'm so grateful for his involvement in
some things,
random things. Okay. Anyway. So we're back at church. He wants to get a hamburger or a cheeseburger because that's what we used to do when we were at church. And he decides he's going to totally forget the fact that he just spent X amount of months in cancer treatment and basically had 2nd-degree burns inside his throat.
It was kind of 3rd degree. It was bad.
It was bad. And at least 2nd-degree burns on the outside of his neck.
Well, I mean, it was scabbed over. So...
You were considered a burn victim while in the hospital.
No.
Anyway, so the very first thing he gets is the cheeseburger, and he slathers it in barbecue sauce. So I'm sitting on the opposite side of this counter. I'm filming him. I'm taking pictures of him. I'm so excited for him. He takes a little tiny nibble and then walks away. He can't do it because barbecue sauce is now...
No, I didn't put on the... I remember originally I didn't put it on. I was like, oh, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
But I missed barbecue. I used to put barbecue sauce on everything, like hamburgers, chicken, pork, broccoli. Maybe not broccoli, but
no, probably
like
broccoli.
All meat, pretty much.
You put it on everything.
Pretty much any meat. Maybe not fish. That's the only one I didn't do. Barbecue sauce.
That's not true. We have like Trader Joe's tilapia. You would put barbecue sauce on it.
Yeah,
he put it on everything. He put it on everything.
Primal mayo that's like
I know.
$15 a gallon, $15 a thing.
Anyway, I grew up in the Midwest. We put cheese on everything. We put
salt and butter.
Yes.
And no spice.
I didn't know barbecue sauce
existed
until I met him, and then it was everywhere. So yeah, he puts it on his cheeseburger. He can't get it down. And that was kind of a setback because that would have been March, and you spent the next several months really trying to work your way back up to wanting to eat.
Yeah, I didn't necessarily want to eat, and then until the whole escapism thing where I wanted to get away, and it was weird having this tube, like it just, I don't know how, like you can't even, but it was. I wish I could put a wire in there or something, but it was like this thing that came down, and it was noticeable, type of thing. And I wanted to get away. Like I said, like I felt trapped, like in the house in Phoenix, type of thing. He didn't like me driving, even though I snuck out because I was on like Vicodin or whatever.
He was on Oxy
and
fentanyl.
And fentanyl. And to me, that just made me feel normal. I didn't feel messed up because I didn't have intense pain in my throat, and I didn't feel that cloudy, and that stuff does make you feel good too. It makes you.
It served its purpose. It allowed you to be, which is crazy scary, and a totally different topic in some other segment. But yeah, so as the caregiver, once he was done with treatment, I really wanted, okay, it's my turn. Take care of me. I saved you. You get to do the dishes. I'm taking a step back. But it didn't happen. Like, it went right into, okay, now we have to talk about him using his sword again. So he has long-term use. We have to talk about getting him off the drugs. We have to talk about him getting off the feeding tube. So his last treatment was March 14th. My job as his caregiver really didn't stop for several months after that.
I got an idea. Can I go off topic again, or do we need to stay on topic?
Oh my God. Oh man. No.
Okay. Save it for another. We'll
Yes.
shelve it. We'll shelve the time you try to make me a drug addict for the next episode. Thank you for tuning in to...
I saved you to do the dishes. Remember, if you're a caregiver, particularly a family caregiver, you can always delegate somebody else to do the dishes. Until next time, we love you. Bye.
Bye.
This is the Whole Care Network. Helping you tell your story one podcast at a time. Content presented in the following podcast is for information purposes only. Views and opinions expressed in this podcast are solely those of the host and guest and may not represent the views and opinions of the Whole Care Network. Always consult with your physician for any medical advice, and always consult with your attorney for any legal advice. And thank you for listening to the Whole Care Network.